I was just about to do my brows, and of course I was thinking, because I'm a thinker, that's typically what I do. So I was like, you know what, just go live, do your brows, and talk about these 5 huge mistakes you're making online, and it's literally costing you customers. So if you are trying to make some money online, the best way to do that is through marketing products, right? And I don't mean like die hard, like you are an advertising agency. I mean like sharing products, sharing what you love, showing people how you use them, and helping people basically choose you, trust you, and your recommendation, right? You know what? I probably should get a mirror. Should probably get a mirror. That'll help a lot, right? So if that sounds like you or someone you know, be sure to share this video with them. Be sure to tag them on this video, okay? Because I'm going to help you out here. Today I'm going to share the mistakes, and then over time I'm going to show you how to cure these mistakes, okay? So what you see here is me using a brow pencil, not one that I get compensated to use, but you know, I love my brow pomade, but on days like today, oh my God, look at the difference a brow makes. On days like today, I just need a quick one. So this is like a $5 NYX pencil I got at Ulta last week with my daughter and the grandchildren. And what I'm doing here is I'm just using this product, right? Now, what typically happens when I do things like this is someone is going to ask me, right? Someone's going to ask me, and if they don't ask me today, because they've seen me sit here and fill my brows, when they have questions about brows or anything makeup or skincare related, they're going to come to me. When they see posts about, did you change your sheets this week? They're going to share it with me, because that has become known to be part of my brand, right? And so if you are online and that is not happening to you, first of all, I'm not here to shame you. I'm here to help you. Second of all, don't beat yourself up because, honey child, with 30 years of sales and marketing experience, well, when I started over 20, it happened to me too. Okay, so don't feel bad. I think it happens to the best of us. And the important thing is, what do we learn from it and how do we apply that learning? So let me know in the comments if you are here today with an open heart and mind and you want to learn what are these mistakes so that you can learn from them, stop making them, and applied knowledge is the gateway. It is the answer, right? Applied knowledge. We're going to apply some knowledge. Okay, so we'll get started with the first mistake that I see a lot of people making online, especially if they are with a company that is in an expansion mode, that is adding lots of new product and, oh my God, I just thought of 2 more. Lots of new product and that. So let me just jot this one down before I forget. So we're going to have 2 bonuses, so it's going to be 7. So I got to write this down because your girl is almost 50 and she forgets stuff. Okay, so this one is... Okay, so I got that written down. I got it written down, so it's on the list. As long as I keep referring to the list, we're going to be good and all of that. Okay, so this first one, it's going to sound intimidating, but I promise if you work with someone like me, I'm going to make it easier for you. Okay, I'm going to make it so simple for you. I'm going to make it so easy for you. You're gonna thank me. Okay, and that is this. Okay, so the first thing is to even out these brows because one is looking a little more full and thicker. Okay, so the first thing is this: not collecting leads, not nurturing them, not following up with them, and basically no lead generation strategy. And you're going to understand why you're doing this when I get to one of the other things on the list. So we're definitely going for the kind of fluffy brow today, the thicker brow. And I'm here for it. I'm always here for it. As always, always here for it. There's a spoolie on here. I didn't realize that. I mean, I did, but I forgot. Okay. So not collecting, tracking, and nurturing leads. Leads are your lifeblood, right? Because, okay, so let's talk about Facebook. I believe there's 3 billion people that use Facebook globally. Not all of them are your customer. I want to get that clear. Not all of them are your customer. Oh my God, that's the 8th one. Not all of them are your customer, okay? But there are 3 billion people on Facebook, for example. 1 billion that are active users on Instagram each month. TikTok is like the most downloaded app of like 2021 or something like that. And, you know, Pinterest has 300 million, 500 million active users each and every month. So there are a lot of people on these platforms that you have access to. There is no way for you to know and keep track of all of them without keeping track of them. Right? And so I like to do that on an automated basis. You don't have to do that, but you need at least a notebook. You need something to be collecting, tracking, and nurturing your leads. You can even use a Trello board. I know people who use a Trello board. I know people who use multiple notebooks, one notebook. I don't care. You need some way to keep track of your leads in order to first collect them, and 2, track them, and 3, nurture and follow up with them, right? Because a lead is no good if all you do is just collect them and you never follow back up with them, and you never bring them back to your content. You never, ask them again and again and again until they tell you to stop asking them. Okay. So that's rule number 1 with email marketing. If that's one of the ways you're going to, collect, track, and lead and nurture your leads, is you, because I get asked this question, well, how long do I email them until they die? Or unsubscribe until they die, or unsubscribe or buy, literally. Okay. And I have people who've been on my list for years. They keep opening and reading the emails, and boom, all of a sudden they might order. And sometimes they don't, but you know what they might do? They might refer. And sometimes they don't do that, but as long as they keep opening and reading, I'm good with that. Okay. And clicking. Okay. So that's the first thing. You're not collecting, tracking, and nurturing leads. Okay. And it doesn't have to be automated. Your girl prefers automated because I don't do manual labor other than my brows. Okay. But you need some sort of collection mechanism and tracking. And I'm going to caution you against just using Facebook Messenger or even Telegram, because you don't own those. You still need a way to know who those people are. And if Facebook is down, then yeah, Telegram. If Telegram is down, then how are you going to be able to communicate with them? Okay. So you need to collect some piece of information, name, email, text message, something, and have multiple ways to be able to nurture and follow up with those leads. Okay. And you know what? For some people, some of your leaders are telling you don't need that, and they're wrong. I'm just going to say it. They're wrong. You do need it. Right? Because then on days when Facebook is down, they're sitting there twiddling their thumbs and they don't know what to tell you what to do, because they didn't listen, and they want to make it easy for you, and they want to pacify you. And here's the thing. This is what separates the people who are here to really, 1, build a real legitimate business, and 2, ooh, girl, you get fired up. And 2, those who really want to impact other people's lives and not just have a bunch of people underneath them that they're making money off of. I said it. And I mean it. And I'm not directing it at any particular person, but a hit dog will holler. It is what it is. Okay. And yes, I said it. You can get mad, but now do something about it. Okay. And number 2, your company is not your brand. Your company is not your niche. Your company is not your brand. Your company is not your niche. Okay. So please stop screaming from the hilltops your company's name, the product name. Now, I'm not saying that I don't like these people who are hiding everything and they won't ever say the name. I don't believe in that either. I think there's a happy middle ground, though. You know what I mean? I think don't be shady about it. Don't take curiosity and attraction marketing way to the opposite end and just look crazy, and that's when people start thinking things are weird and like, oh, what, are you selling drugs or something? No. Okay. So be transparent, but you don't have to lead with it. What you should be leading with, instead of the product, instead of the company, is yourself first and a solution second. Yourself first and a solution second, right? If you are in a business where you are building a team, You lead with yourself first, because people need to know, like, and trust you. They need to know, like, and trust the system, the franchise that you're selling, and the solution, right? And the franchise is not the company or the product, right? Because if that company terminates your contract, if that company goes under, if that company goes direct, then what do you have to lead with? You have to think about these things, right? And a genuine leader who is concerned with building other leaders will tell you these things. They won't sugarcoat it. They won't hide it. I'm just being real, okay? Because there's a lot of crazy stuff that goes on in these internet marketing streets, and the very people who talk about, it's not about owning people, but in a way it really is about owning people. They just don't talk about it. It's, you watch what they do, and it's really much more about them owning you and not teaching you how to fish, right? So I'm not a fish for you leader. I'm a teach you how to fish leader, okay? And the fact is, you need to be focused on yourself, the value, the training, the education that you can provide, regardless of what company you're affiliated with, as well as solution, how your opportunity solves problems in a person's life, how the products or services solve problems in a person's life. Even if they're not aware of it, it's your job to make them aware of what the problem is and then solve it, okay? So I learned this several years ago, and it is, you want to focus on at least 80% of the journey and only 10 to 20% destination, okay? So the product, company, service are destination, and the other 80% really needs to be on the journey, the vehicle, you know, how you're getting there. And actually I said that wrong. The company, product, or service are a vehicle. You're in the car. What is the journey? And the destination is the problem being solved, okay? And so keep that in mind, that the vehicle should really only be like 5 to 10%, okay? 5 to 10% at max, but the bulk should be on the journey, the education, the empowerment, right? The connection, the relationship building is where the bulk of your content and focus should be, and not the company or product. They are merely a vehicle of how you get to the destination, okay? But you're the guide, you're in the driver's seat, and that's what you need to focus on. There, I said that beautifully, okay? Number 3, you have product and service ADHD, and some of it is your leader and your company's fault, okay? Because they are throwing all these things at you. And I remember being partnered with a company that had, just in lipsticks alone, over 150 SKUs. That's stock keeping unit SKUs, right? Marketers know what I mean, right? But you know, whenever a product has a little barcode on it, each product has a unique SKU. Okay. And so when it comes to lipsticks, right, there might be 6 different types of lipsticks available: liquid, matte, moisturizing, collagen infused. Those might all be 3-4 different lipsticks. And then each one of those shades is going to have a different SKU. So that's how that company had over 160 SKUs, including glosses and anything associated for the lips, right? So they had like 2,000 or 3,000 SKUs. It is not your job to go on social media and talk about 2,000 or 3,000 SKUs, because, you know, if you're old enough, you remember the days of, you know, whenever a video, a movie or anyone portrayed New York City, they would always show the shady guy walking up to you, opening his coat. I got watches, I got socks, I got microwaves. And you don't want to be that person, right? You want to stick to your area of focus. I'm going to share with you what really made people listen to me, okay? Lips, because I had 150, 160 SKUs last I counted, right? Dark under eye circles and contouring. Those were my 3 things that really tipped the scale for me. When I honed in and focused on those 3 things, my business exploded. And when I just stayed on that message of those 3 things, right? Lips, dark under eye circles, and contouring. That's what I was known for, right? Now, I also was known for tacos. right? I also was known for my love of my grandson. I also was known for travel. Those were ways that people connected with me and built relationship with me, and they wanted to keep coming back and seeing that part of the journey, because remember, I'm in the driver's seat. I'm the focus. The journey is the focus, not the company or the product, right? But then when I did focus on the product, it was educational. It was inspiring. I would weave it in, in entertaining ways, and not just buy my product, join my team. Nobody is on social media for that. And you have to understand that. And so even as the company is doing what they should do if they want to remain a viable company, and they have enough reps that it's not your responsibility to market all 2,000, all 3,000, all 200 SKUs, it's your job to figure out what are people listening to you, what are they looking to you for, and you provide that. And by the way, you still will sell some of that other stuff. Because once someone becomes a customer, now you can expose them to some of those other things. But the bulk of your content needs to be around your niche, right? And once somebody knows, likes, and trusts you, they might start asking you about other things. People have asked me about things like, and what made you think to ask me about that? But it's because they know, like, and trust me around, specific areas. They figure I'm a good resource. And so once people see you as resourceful, baby, that's the sweet spot. That is the level of influence that you want to have. Okay. So don't have ADHD. Really figure out your 1 to 2 things initially, and then you can weave in a third, or as the market shifts, you adapt, you monitor, adjust, and control, and adapt, and you will be fine, right? And to this day, I'm still very much about skin. I'm still very much about the dark under eye circles. Hello. Look at how contoured I looked from doing the facial massages and using the roller, right? So these are things that I'm still very much known for. And now I'm really sharing my journey with managing my weight. I won't say weight loss, because it's about a health style. It's about a healthy lifestyle. It's about longevity, because I have these grandchildren that I want to be around and see their children and grandchildren. Okay. So you can't have ADHD. You can't be all over the place. That's very manic, and people don't like that kind of energy. They like the relaxed, the calm. They do like enthusiasm. Don't get me wrong, but there's a level where enthusiasm goes from enthusiasm to either being manic or being cultish, and people. Right? And so also, please stay out of other people in your company's comments screaming the company name. That is not everyone's strategy. If you want to go down on that sinking ship with that strategy, you do that, but please don't bring that energy to my post, for example. Okay. And number 4, not providing value, right? Everything, and this is a bonus one, is about the launch. Everything is about launching. Launching is not a long-term business strategy. Once you launch a product, you need to keep selling a product. And I see companies, I see leaders, and I see regular lay people failing at once the product is launched. What do you do after that, right? If you want to grow, if you want to scale up, you can't always watch what your leaders are doing, because they may not be in the same phase. They may not be in a growth and expansion phase. They might be sitting back and collect a check phase, right? So you have to find where the people are in the phase that you're in your business, that want to grow and expand, right? If that's where you are. Now, if you are fine with not collecting a check, or you are collecting a check and your check is the size that you want to collect, then you can do what you see the leaders who are in that phase of their business doing. But for those who really want to grow and move fast, you've got to find your sideline, your cross line, whoever, and partner with them and run with them, because that energy, like attracts like, and when you're in that energy, you're going to attract more of that energy. Okay. And so with that being said, you need to be providing value. Okay. You need to not just be talking about, I'm launching these eye masks, buy these eye masks, right? And these launched over a year ago, right? The best thing to do is to share transformations, talk about what it feels like when people are always asking you, are you tired? Did you get enough sleep last night? You look tired. You need to get some sleep. I remember hearing that As a new mom for the second time, just graduated college, working my first job, driving 45 minutes to an hour each way every day. And I remember multiple people in my family commenting on my dark under eye circles and my red eyes and telling me I needed to get some sleep. And I wanted to scream at them, because if it was just that easy, don't you think I would be doing it? I was under immense pressure. My baby daddy wasn't helping. No. I mean, he was good at getting up with my daughter at night. But there were so many other things where there was all this immense pressure. Keep a clean house, keep your kids clean, and I know somebody's going to make fun of me for saying this, but I don't give a shit. Keep your kids clean, keep their hair combed. But I'm losing at least 10 hours a week driving back and forth to work. Okay. And of course that was my choice, but it also was so that I could afford to live the lifestyle that I wanted me and my children to live. Right. And so, and I was adjusting from having one child to now having two, and this dude done brought a dog home and all this other stuff, and it was just a lot, right? And it showed itself under my eyes, and I always had a lot of worry about money and how I was gonna pay for this for my daughters and that for my daughters, and because I was making decent money, but my health insurance was eating me alive, right? Car insurance, all these things had to be paid for, but I needed a car, and I needed car insurance if I was driving on the highway to work back and forth every day, right? So I say all that just to say that when you talk about those things, people are going to connect with you through that, right? And you talk about what it feels like, you're working your butt off, and now the kids are older, right? You're working your butt off. You want a promotion. You deserve a promotion because you've promoted 18 people in 3 years. Where's your promotion? And your boss is asking, did you get enough sleep? Some of it's not even sleep at this point. Some of it is because the worry doesn't go away as a single mom, but it's also like hereditary, right? And so you start your monthly trek to Mac. You're trying to figure it out. How do I get these gone? How do I cover them up, right? That's the stuff that made people connect with me and made people come to me and ask me about dark under eye circles. So you have to provide value. It can be education, it could be engaging, it could be empowering. All of those E's that I teach, it can be those things. You can make connections. You can create conversations around that. And that is how people will begin to know, like, and trust you to buy a product. Because this idea that you can just post and post inconsistently, which is number 5, posting very inconsistently. And when you do post, it's only to sell. That's gross. People don't want that. They want those posts without a call to action, right? They want those posts. They want those posts where you're just being vulnerable and you're sharing your story like I just did. That's what makes people connect with you. But you're not doing that. You're not doing that. You're only posting, and you're only posting when something's in it for you. You're not posting in it to inspire someone that day, right? You're not making those posts that are not company or product or service related at all, where you're just giving an encouraging word for the day. And every time, I swear, every time I do that and someone says, I needed to hear this today, an angel gets her wings. I swear it happens, but it makes me feel good that I impacted someone positively that day. And if your post, you don't have any posts, and you look back and you audit your post and you haven't had a post that did that in quite some time, you got a lot of deposits to make. You got a lot of posts you need to make someone feel heard, seen, and acknowledged that day, right? You need to do that regularly and consistently, and not to make sales, because it's the good thing to do, because it's the right thing to do. Okay? So don't post heavily promotional stuff either all the time or the only time you do post, it's something heavily promotional. It's just not. It's not a good look. Okay? And this is a bonus. Okay? My bonus is no community. Right? You have no community. You have no niche. You have no ideal client. There's a saying in marketing when my best friend Beryl and I were talking about this last night, when you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody. When you're talking to any and everybody, you're talking to nobody and nobody, right? You need to speak specifically as if you are talking to only one person, and they will attract all the rest to you. I promise you. I promise you. Y'all let these leaders talk y'all into, you don't need an ideal client. Yes, the fuck you do. You absolutely do. I'm telling you, with over 20 years of marketing experience, when I stopped talking to everybody online, one of my most successful posts to date, and all of my most successful posts to date, one, they're vulnerable. Two, I'm talking specifically to someone, and often that someone is actually me, an older version of me, or me comforting myself, self-soothing myself, whatever, being vulnerable and talking to that one person, and people connect, they engage, they have conversation, they share, they like, and they get in my inbox. They get in my inbox. When you said this, I felt that. They commented, oh my God, I feel like you're speaking directly to me today. If you are not doing that, if you are not building community, if you don't know 5 people that have engaged in your content because they felt like it connected to them, you are not building a community. A minimum of 5 people, right? I don't care if it's 3. Even if it's one person, if you have not touched one person and connected with them where they keep showing up on your content, even if they haven't bought, you're not building community, and you need to do some community building content. You need to be posting those memes. You need to be posting quotes. You need to be sharing stories to build that community, so that when you need to make an ask, it's so much easier to reach for the low-hanging fruit and reach out to those people and say, hey, I know this is something that you're interested in. I have this. Or, hey, blah, 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 blah. By the way, the mumbo strategy. By the way, I know, you know, we've talked about this before. You've engaged on my post about this. This product is coming out. Would you be interested in being one of the first people to try it? I've got a special discount for first-time customers. That, my friends, is how it's done. Not just making random, inconsistent posts, talking to any and everybody, heavily promotional, talking about everybody under the sun except you, and how the product has had an impact on your life, how the opportunity has impacted your life, because you are so, you know, oh, I don't deserve it. So-and-so went through this, and so I don't deserve it. No, you deserve it just as much. You deserve it just as much. And sometimes, I'm going to be honest with you, more, because sometimes those people are lying about what they've been through. Okay? So, these are the mistakes. And if you didn't catch the 7th one, the bonus, that is needing or being addicted to the launch. That is why you see even top leaders constantly chasing and switching companies, because they are addicted to the launch. Once the launch is over, they don't know how to, they're bored, a lot of them. And I know, because it can be me sometimes, not even so much with the launch, but once I've, accomplished something, once I've overcome an obstacle, once I beat a challenge, I don't want to do that again. That's boring. I want a new challenge, right? So for me, it's being addicted to the adrenaline of the challenge and overcoming, right? Of solving the problem. For some, it's being addicted to the launch, right? They're addicted to the launch. They don't know how to operate when there's not a product in launch, because to them, it's like me. I ain't gonna lie. Like, when I was younger, I used to love watching basketball. I loved basketball players, any athlete, football. And basketball, I hated a slow game. I only liked watching basketball when it was a fast-paced moving game. They're up and down the court, they're moving fast, and they're jumping, they're doing jumpers, and they're what do they call it, dunking and all of that. I would only like that. That's what people who are addicted to the launch remind me of. They only like that fast-paced game. They don't know how to play the long game, the slower game, the fundamental game, because the games that, and like, I think Duke was a college team like this at one point in their history. They were a fundamental game, right? They didn't have a lot of on their team, but they were still a top team because they mastered the fundamentals, right? And I'm versatile in my online marketing game. I can play both, right? I need both. Because now I'm going into my fast-paced season. After that, spring and summer, I slow down. But to be honest with you, to people in my audience who follow me, they don't know the difference. They don't see the difference. But I know and feel the difference, because I was talking to someone about this recently, and they were like, I couldn't tell, Tamara. I can't tell. You're posting still consistently every day, multiple times a day. I'm like, yeah, but I bring it down a little bit. And I do some things differently. I'm a lot more aggressive in certain areas, assertive, I should say, in certain behaviors and activities when I'm in fast-paced mode, okay? And I do a lot more recruiting probably this time of year than I do the other half of the year. And next year I hope to change that and just be more consistent year round, right? But it's a difference between the long game and the short game. Launching is a short game. It's a short-term strategy, right? It will get you here, but it won't keep you there. You have to be able to manage and lead your team. You have to be able to service and I won't say upsell or cross sell, but increase wallet share is what I will say with your existing customers and expose them to new product. There's a lot of tables, those plates. You're spinning a lot of plates, right? And some people are really only excited and have a lot of enthusiasm about their business when they're in launch. And so really, aside from strategy, what you have to learn to do is you have to learn to have that same level of energy and enthusiasm, even if it's brought down a couple notches. But like they say, it's okay to rest, just don't quit. It's okay to rest, just make sure you get back up, don't rest too long. It's kind of that same thing. You can't just rely on launches to build your business. And I think the blessing for me was being partnered with a company that really didn't do launches. I mean, they launched stuff to their distributors at their 2 conventions every year, and I'm not going to go there. But with that, I didn't learn to rely on launches. I knew how to build a consistent business off of the fundamentals. That's the one thing that I really took from that opportunity. And even from my days of banking and leadership and running high performing teams in banking, was the team that had the fundamentals and could play the long game would win. Because that's what would happen in basketball with those teams that really dominated the floor when it was a fast paced game. Some teams did not have the stamina, they did not have the endurance to keep playing at that level, and they didn't know how to play when the level was brought down. They didn't have the fundamentals when the level was brought down. So it's kind of that whole street ball versus fundamental basketball analogy there. So those are the mistakes that I see people making with their business online. I'll recap them really quickly and then I gotta go. Okay, so the number 1 is not collecting, tracking, and nurturing leads. Number 2 is too product focused and not solution focused. The company product are the vehicle, they are not the destination, they are not the journey. Okay. Too many products, you're talking about too many products too soon and too often. So it's like you have ADHD, and people don't like that. Being mad, it's kind of like a manic energy, and people don't like that manic energy. Not providing value, again, just being too product focused, too company focused, and people don't know your product. They don't care about the company. They don't care about the leaders, and they don't care about the owner. They don't know them. They don't care. Okay. And number 5 is too heavy on the promotion. All the time, either all the time, or you only post when you want something, when you want to make a sale, when you want a new partner. That's very, again, it's almost like a manic energy. It's like the opposite of, it's either manic or depressive, and people that it doesn't attract the right energy. Okay. And I don't say that to offend anybody with mental illness. It's just an analogy. Okay. Everybody calm down. And the bonus 2, we're not building community. You don't have any people that you can go to and talk to and speak directly and have conversation with. You don't have community, and that people that and what they would be interested in, and you can talk to them about it. You don't have that. And number 7 is needing a launch, or worse, being addicted to the launch. Okay. So here's the thing. You can reach out to me. I can help you get started with affiliate marketing. I have tools, resources, an entire system, help you get set up with affiliate marketing. My goal is to help you make your first $1,000 online. If that sounds like you or someone you know, make sure you share this video with them, tag them below. And if it's you can definitely contact me either via DM, the link in my bio, or comment below, and I'd be more than happy to talk to you about getting started with affiliate marketing and making your first $1,000 online. I gotta go. Bye.